Hey guys, Joe Tunney here at Infiniti of Kirkland in Kirkland, Washington, just outside of Seattle. And we've just taken in an absolutely beautiful 2013 Toyota Sequoia Platinum. That's the top of the line for the Toyota Sequoia. One of 5 trade-ins this weekend, go figure, from people who have just moved here from the state of Texas, thus the Texas license plates. But like most vehicles from Texas, it is 2-wheel drive, not 4-wheel drive, and we're in 4-wheel drive country up here. So this is a car that's definitely going to go to the auction. However, before we send it to the auction, we want to take a look at the Sequoia. It is a really fascinating vehicle. Fast, easy to drive, lots of cool features. And one of the features that you can tell that makes it a Platinum right out of the get-go is this little rectangular cutout right here is for a feature called laser guided cruise control. And so how laser guided cruise control works is when you're in laser guided cruise control, if somebody cuts you off or slows down abruptly, it maintains the speed between your vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. So if they're decelerating heavily, this car is going to decelerate right along with it all the way to essentially 0 miles per hour. If it happens abruptly, it's not going to slam on the brakes that fast, but it does moderate the rate of closure between you and the vehicle in front of you. This one looks terrific in black, 20-inch wheels. Now, if you get a limited, you get 20-inch wheels, and most of the time, if you get a Platinum, you get chrome 20-inch wheels. Every now and again, we'll see it without the chrome wheels, and a lot of times that has to do with it being either a 2-wheel drive or they'll just swap them out at the dealership level. Taking a look around this particular vehicle, it looks great. This one only has 14,000 miles. Has the nice looking tan interior, which works really well with the black exterior, and then also with all those wood touches that you're going to find on the top of the line Sequoias. This one has a 12-way power seat as opposed to the Limited, which has a 10-way power seat. And then Limited comes with optional things like navigation, which are standard on the Platinum. Taking a look in the back seat, now one thing you can tell that makes it a Platinum right out of the get-go is the quad seating configuration. Now you can get this as an option in the Limited, but all of the Platinums have this feature. And it's a little bit hit or miss, to be honest with you. I like it. It looks cool. It's more practical if you have kids. I mean, I have 3 small kids, and so they always want to grab each other or wrestle inside the back of the car. Well, this keeps everybody at a safe distance from one another, so that part's nice. And it looks good, so that part's nice. But unlike our own Infiniti brand, the center console doesn't just easily pop out and move away. It's a big weekend project to get this thing out of the vehicle, and then it's a little bit unsightly because there's no carpet underneath here. And so that's one feature if you like to remove this to have a dog running around or just to make it a little bit easier to get into the back seat. That's a negative on this car. It does come with rear heated seats, so that's a nice touch. This one has a DVD, again optional on the Limited, but standard on the Platinum. And so I love it, but it's something that you need to know if you like to take this out, that it is a bit of a journey. And so the JBL sound in this one, and JBL speakers all the way front to back. The stereo on this is absolutely magnificent. Taking a look in back, we notice it says iForce 5.7 LV8. That just means it's a 5.7 liter engine. This one has 381 horsepower, which is like so much, 401 pound-feet of torque. This vehicle weighs 5,700 pounds. It goes 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds. It's super, super fast. And then if you've experienced Tundras or even older Sequoias, they just last forever. They're just wonderful V8 engines, especially the 5.7 liter. It's a great engine. And then with the push of a button, the tailgate opens up. A couple of neat features on this. First, this one is set up for trailer tow. This will tow 7,400 pounds in 2-wheel drive, and in a Platinum edition with all-wheel drive, that drops to 7,000 pounds. If this were a base model SR5, it would do 7,100 pounds in 4-wheel drive. So if you see some different numbers as you're doing your research, that's where that's from. The most way to tow the most power, or tow the most weight, is to get a 2-wheel drive, and that's what this one is. Now, one great feature about the Sequoia is that it has an independent rear suspension. In fact, the Platinum it has a rear load leveling. So if I load this thing up for air in the back, or if I'm towing or hauling or something like that, it'll automatically keep the rear end of the car flat. and then it has adaptive shock absorbers, so as I'm going over bumps and undulations, again, it's moderating a lot of the dips that occur naturally in the road to keep the car flat all of the time. So all Sequoias have independent rear suspension, but only the Platinum has the adaptive rear shocks. What makes independent rear suspension so valuable is that A, it drives more like a car, and B, it allows you to fold down the rear seats. And so in a Tahoe, for example, which does not have an independent rear suspension, you actually have to take the third row seat out to get the maximum amount of cargo space. And so when I've got the seats down, this will actually do 66.6 cubic feet of carrying capacity. And then if I take everything out and have everything flat as flat can be and just have for one person, it'll do over 120 cubic feet of, so if I want to load this thing up, if I've got a small business or something like that, there's a tremendous amount of storage available in this, regardless of what configuration that I have it in. Taking a look at the side here. Now, one thing about big cars like this, everyone always says the same thing. Oh, you know, it's too big, I don't want to drive it. Sure, it's heavy, but it's really not all that big. The wheelbase is 122 inches. Compare that with like our first generation Infiniti G35 Coupe. That wheelbase is 112.2. So the actual length of the vehicle isn't so daunting as all of that. 122 is not that long at all. Let's take a peek inside. It's actually fairly quiet out on the open road. It's super aerodynamic. It's a 0.36 coefficient of drag, and that compares with like a Audi Q5, a much smaller compact type of sport utility. And so that slippery shape helps in acceleration, helps in fuel economy. And yes, the fuel economy is not extravagant by any means in this, 13 miles per gallon in the city and 18 on the highway. I guess they make up for a little bit of lost fuel economy by having a particularly large 25-ish gallon fuel tank, so you can go quite far on a tank of gas. But you know, you giggle and say, well, you know, 13 miles per gallon in the city, that's like nothing. Yeah, but that's a whole 7 people and all their belongings. Goes 0 to 60 in mid 6s, and has you know, even with 4-wheel drive, it gets very similar gas mileage. And so for such a big vehicle and such a powerful vehicle, those numbers aren't really all that different than any other full-size sport utility. If I had to sacrifice you know, quality and refinement and resale value at the expense of or the benefit of gaining a mile or two of MPG, it's a no-brainer. These things have such amazing resale value, you have to factor that into the equation. They're worth more than other big sport utilities. And as the miles get higher and higher and higher, not only are they worth more than their competition, they're worth far more than their competition. Infiniti's QX56 enjoys that same nice resale value. Japanese cars just have an angle that all the other brands don't have. They are built to last, and they've earned their reputation. And because they've earned their reputation, you're the beneficiary of amazing resale value. Now, this is a beautiful car. I'm going to turn this one on. We're going to take a listen to how the exhaust sounds. But like I said, it's not a particularly loud car. This one has tilt and telescopic power steering. With a push of a button, I've got the navigation activated, and the previous owner apparently is a fan of Barry Manilow. We won't hold that against him. But again, this car is very, very well equipped. Heated seats front and rear, navigation, DVD, JBL, and of course, it's a top-of-the-line Platinum package. If you have any questions about this vehicle, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My name is Joe Tunney. I'm the sales manager here at Infiniti of Kirkland. You can call me anytime, 425-821-1600, or just drop me an email at joet@infinitiofkirkland.com.